Well, that was a great one for us. This has been I see some new faces today, and so appreciate you being here and following us. And Doug, I'm working on my recipe, man. Thanks for that email. But this was a game, just a culmination of this weekend, actually, but especially today, a culmination of such a grind for this group. So many new faces, such a short preseason, and then a 29-day pause, and then another 10-day pause where we weren't able to practice as a group right before our Stanford game. So right before Arizona, right before Stanford. And we've known all along that this is a good team. We've got talent. We just need time and we need opportunity. And every possession, it seems like we get a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better. And so this weekend for 80 minutes, it really has come together for this group. We played so well against Stanford until we ran out of gas in the fourth quarter. And then this weekend was, what we had all hoped. And so I told the team afterwards, when we recruit a group, we see their potential. And when you start a season, you see their potential. And then you just pray that the team realizes that potential at some point and sees themselves that way. And they're beginning to see what we see. And so UCLA is a great team, obviously very well coached, and has weapons all over the place. And our defensive effort today was the reason that we're celebrating afterwards, our rebounding, and then our ability to take care of the basketball. I mean, to hold them to the shooting percentages that we did was a different team than people have watched for a large part of this season. They've embraced that end of the floor. They're finding joy now defensively, which is going to allow us to be successful the rest of the way and into the postseason.
Scott, you talked about it. We talked after the game on Friday. The defense was going to need to be at a different level today than it was against USC. You have to love what they did. And how do they kind of, play off of that after yesterday and shoot around and stuff, feeding off of what they did on Friday and turn that into today?
Yeah, well, I think just the confidence is growing and the belief in themselves. Not only that, just the belief that they can. Oh, we can be a good team. Yeah, and we've seen little glimpses. I mean, we played phenomenal. Washington State off our pause. Even for who we were at Arizona, we at the time without Aleah at that time, we played actually well. We just didn't shoot it well there. Then the Washington State game, and this is the end of January, we saw these glimpses. I mean, a double overtime loss when you haven't even been near that situation yet as a team with all these new people. So we've had all these experiences now that have been very positive, not all wins, but very positive. And so now the belief is just different, so when we talk about, okay, this is where we need to put our attention now, they're like, okay, we can do this. We can do this. Okay, let's do this, and I just heard one comment, amazing what you can do when you box out. I just heard that comment. And so music to our ears, for a program that typically dominates the boards. This group it's been an acquired taste this year. And so today to out-rebound UCLA, I mean, nobody goes to the boards as hard as that team. I mean, they are so relentless and they play so hard. And so this group, we have complete respect for them. And that's what you saw today, a team that understood how important it was and rose to the occasion. So Taylor was amazing in there, but collectively it was a team that just did a great job overall.
Scott, just talk about Aleah for a second, because those threes that she hits just feel so timely. She's the one out there on the court communicating with absolutely everybody anytime there's a break, even when there isn't a break. Just talk about how critical she is to this team finding that belief in itself.
No, she's the core. I mean, she's the leader. Taya and Aleah have done a great job this year collectively. Aleah is the voice, and Taya's a little more on the quiet side. Aleah's the floor leader, floor general, coach on the court that's directing everyone and keeping things positive. And for those of you who have watched us for a while, you remember their freshman year, Marie Gulich was our senior, and she was our only senior that year. And like every picture when I think of Marie, I just picture Marie with the team in her arms, telling them, okay, here's what we're going to do, and this is how it's going to go, and you can do it. And that's what Aleah is providing for this team, is that belief. And not only is she saying it, now you're seeing, I mean, she's backing it up with her play. And she's just, an absolute warrior on the court. An amazing stat line today, of course, and in the toughest place to do it. It's like this place is, you feel like, okay, if we can get through the end of this game with 15 or fewer turnovers, that's a win. I mean it. This is a hard place to take care of the basketball. UCLA plays so aggressive and so fast here. I think back to our Final Four year, we didn't have Sydney at the time, but we got ran out of this gym. That year with Marie, we got ran out of this gym. We were down 35, I think, in that game or something. And so today to come in and play with only 10 turnovers with all the new people we have says a lot about her leadership and just where we're headed.
Scott, this might get a little lost in the game, but Taylor got in foul trouble and Elena was able to come in and play, I think, 18 minutes. And was Taylor fresh there in the fourth quarter then? Because she was able to do a lot of stuff down the stretch.
Probably a little more fresh than she would have been for sure. And so Yelena has risen to the occasion when we've needed her. You think back to our first Pac-12 game, Colorado. Taylor got just 3 quick fouls or 2 real quick ones. And so we played Yelena a long time, and Yelena proved, hey, she could stay out there a while, and certainly she impacts the game with her rebounding, her size, and her ability to pass and shoot the ball. But it was a blessing in disguise, certainly down the stretch, because Taylor's rebounding was so key. She had live legs. She moved her feet defensively, challenged shots around the rim, and just kept them shooting tougher shots than they probably wanted to. And so, yeah, that was a big part of the game, actually. I thought Yelena was a real key player for us today.
Hey, Scott, the pundits have you guys on the bubble, so to speak. How big is it to get this win against a really good team and sort of probably get you off that bubble towards in the tournament? And you guys have been playing so great lately that I would think you're a team that most would not want to face come NCAA time when we get there.
Well, I hope so. And, that's everybody in this program. I mean, we're used to the tournament, and not that we take it for granted, but it's absolutely the expectation when you start the year. We knew with a lot of new faces, a lot of talent, that we had a chance to get there. The way this season's played out, obviously that has been in doubt. I mean, we lost a couple tough ones in December that, man, you wish you could have them back. The pauses certainly have slowed our progress. But we've stayed positive through it all. And we said, hey, our goal is to be the best team in this conference by the end of the year. I don't care what our record is. And as great as Stanford is, as great as UCLA, Arizona, Oregon, and the rest, as great as they are, let's find a way to be the best team, playing the best basketball at the end. And that's been our driving force. Let's make a case. And you certainly don't know if you can get a win in this place. USC is a hard place to play. And so to come down and play 80 minutes like this, I certainly, and I hated the score at the end of our Stanford game, but if people watch the first 3 quarters of that game, that this team, before our conditioning just caught up with us because we hadn't been able to practice, this team played toe-to-toe with Stanford, who's obviously a great team and hasn't had any problems. So I, people asked me a long time ago, Nick actually asked me, do you feel like this is a team that can, and he asked me this 3 weeks ago, that could win an NCAA tournament game? I said, without a doubt we can. Are you kidding? There's a lot of talent. We just got to be able to have the opportunity to prove ourselves. And so I think this weekend certainly did that, and we'll keep getting better. We'll keep working.
Scott, what was the biggest key in containing Onion Wary and Charisma Osborne today? Because Onion Wary had a big first quarter, but you were able to contain her to remaining 3. Yeah,
I mean, she's such a dynamic player. I'm a huge fan of how she plays this game and how she's played it forever. And, it feels like she's been around forever. And that's because she was so good her freshman year and such a big part of what they have done all these years. And so the key with her, you have to be closer to her than you want to be, as explosive and as an athlete as she is, and so Ellie Mack, Taya Corsdale, our wings are long. So when we got switched on her, we had length. I think that's the key. In some ways, I mean, that first quarter turnaround jumper she hit over Ellie, that was about 17 feet over her left shoulder. I mean, what can you do? How many people in the country can make that shot? And so she does things that are just incredible. And so then that's half the battle. The rest of the battle is she just goes to the board so incredibly well and has such athleticism and a knack for and a nose for the ball. And so it's a full 30-minute battle or 30-second battle every possession with her. And so I thought we did a nice job in position. I thought we were there on the catch. I thought we challenged her, and then, I mean, I think she drew a few rebounding fouls just because of her effort to the boards. But I thought we just gave a lot of effort to that matchup. As far as Charisma, same, just an amazing player, incredible athlete, can hurt you so many ways. I think our length, certainly impacted her. The times that we made mistakes, she got good looks. Maybe we got fortunate there. She missed a couple of those threes that she got. But I thought overall our length and Sasha's length and Jazz and, even Taya and Ellie when they were on her impacted her. And Aleah has deceptive impact defensively just because she's usually always in the right place.
Scott, you guys were really poised down the stretch of this game, something that you guys struggled with maybe earlier on in the season. What did you like about the way you guys closed this game out when, you're in a very difficult place to win, and you guys were able to make the plays you needed to?
Yeah, stops and then taking care of the ball, and, you look at Talia's addition to our team and just how poised she is. I mean, it's remarkable what we're seeing with Talia. I mean, it makes you scratch your head. You're like, I've never seen this before. Who goes from high school into this and plays like that? And so just a cold-blooded three. I thought that was one of the biggest shots of the game. They went zone, came out of a timeout, and she's just like, oh, okay. Aleah hits her, and she hits a deep three like it's a layup. And so to have a ball handler like that certainly helps. Sasha's grown so much in her ability to handle the basketball against pressure and just stay relaxed, in the storm out there. And then, you got veterans. I mean, Ellie Mack's been through all the wars. Taya Corsdale's been through all the wars, and Aleah certainly has as well. And so there's experience collectively as a group. It's just been nice to have some of this consistency because we got the stops today defensively where, you think about a close game earlier against Washington State. That was an absolute winnable game, but we couldn't we just weren't ready to win it yet. We just didn't have enough experience to close them out. Now we do. And so experience.
Scott, do you still expect to play a game this week before Oregon, by the way?
We do not have one scheduled at this time. And so as of this moment, I would say probably not. But in this crazy year, where we're scheduling 24, 48 hours out, who knows what might pop free this week. So as of now, we're just going to focus on our rivalry game next weekend down in Eugene.
And talking about that rivalry, Scott, how critical was it to not just get these 2 wins, but to have them be on the road before you go to Matthew Knight? Obviously, the fan experience is going to be very different than it has been in years past, but still that arena, how critical was it for your team to see that they can do this in unfriendly territory?
Yeah, well, I've liked that arena more than I haven't. And so I've never minded playing down there. We opened that place. And so in our first game against them was the first game in that place, at least for the women's team. And so lots of kind of fun memories down there. The rivalry is so fun. It's just been, such a big part of our lives now for 11 years. And so I think more than anything, experience, that we've had and now the success that this team's felt, is the most important thing as we go down there. Obviously, just an extremely talented team that is a handful. They just have weapons everywhere, and we saw all those weapons in our place early, in December. And so, we'll have fun getting ready to play another really good team, it's much different, not having people. But it is what it is. And so I just feel like, like you said, these games certainly were very helpful in our preparation process.
Coach, at the end of the game broadcast, obviously the cameras were all over your bench. You've mentioned this team has gone through so much frustration, upsets, things like that. How excited and how nice is it for you to see the celebration, your team happy, kind of rallying around each other, having fun?
Well, this team loves each other. And they have been a tight-knit group the whole time. And what's most amazing about that is it's the hardest year ever to be close as a group. Because, we're all so isolated. That means they're isolated. And we've been in situations where we're truly isolated, where they can't see each other. Yet we've come to the gym, and the tone that this team sets for each other is just to have fun and play basketball and get better. And so they have an incredibly great time together. So then when you see the success, and to be honest, I think that's the reason that we won today. That's the reason we're playing our best basketball right now. It would be really easy in this environment with the pauses that we've had and a few of the losses that we had, that have kind of been hard to have a negative undertone and, just go, oh, it's just not our year. And instead of that, they're like, no, let's make it our year. and let's keep getting better, and so that positivity that they have and that togetherness that they have, created by our captains, and created by the people before them that taught them how to do it, is the reason that we're where we are right now, talking about postseason play. And so for me as the coach, this is why I do what I do. That noise that that excitement I saw on the court behind me at the first as we're waving down there, just them exploding, and then the screaming that I heard as they just went in that locker room right after the game. That's why I do this. And so I couldn't be happier, and that they're realizing their potential and just wanting more now. They're hungry.
Hey, Scott, to piggyback off that, do you think that closeness is why you guys take away Aleah and you're not that experienced? You have a lot of new faces. Taya didn't play last season. Is that why you guys were able to rally? A lot of teams going through what you went through, that almost month-long pause, would have just completely faltered mentally. And did you think at the beginning, hey, we're going to be okay because they like each other a lot?
Well, that's a prereq for me, because whether it's the pause or whether it's an injury or whether it's anything, every team's going to experience adversity. This year's level of adversity is a little bit greater than most, because of the pauses, because of the frustration, because we're shut down again. Oh, they canceled their game. Oh, this and that. Even for our staff to spend 10 to 15 hours doing a scout and then to have the game canceled right before, morning of maybe, or something like that, it's just like, again, and so their tight and closeness and the leadership and the strength of leadership absolutely has helped us weather it. And that characteristic, as you know, Lindsay, is maybe the number one thing that I care about. That's probably number one, because I think that is the greatest life lesson in everything that we do here. Is how to manage all those things and maintain positivity, which allows you to maintain your best effort, your A game in your life. And so this team's just, I always say, just do what you're supposed to do. That's basically our team rule, because everybody kind of knows what they're supposed to do. And this team's done everything they're supposed to do. And their leaders have, most importantly, and they've fallen in. And so, yeah, it's been remarkable to watch. It's been an incredible thing to be a part of. And I'm excited to celebrate with them, but then get back to work with them.
How are you going to celebrate out rebounding UCLA? Because like you said, that's a huge feat. Does the team get to decide?
Well, now that you said that, that's probably the right thing to do. Coach, I'm just on to the next one. I'm like, okay, how can we make it 10? And so why was it just 5? No, I'm teasing, but no, we'll make sure we find a way to celebrate this weekend. This is 80 minutes that we'll be talking about for a while.
Your guys' ability to close this game out, you've got to be really proud of the way you guys have grown in that area. There's some games earlier this year you probably let slip away. What was that like to be out there and to pull one off, on the road against a UCLA team that is really, really good?
Yeah. Just playing here in general is really tough. I think this is the second time I've won here out of my 4 years. And then, like you said, this UCLA team is really tough. They're a great team, a great program. So I'm extremely, extremely proud of my team and just how well we just executed down the stretch, especially. And then just our defense. That's something that we've really been focusing on and just kind of harping down defense and rebounding. And then just to see those two things really come together, especially in the stretch, I'm just extremely proud of them.
What's it say for your guys' team? You guys have been through so much through the course of this year to put together back-to-back games against two really good teams on the road, and to do it with like you said, defensively, which is it's an area you guys have struggled for most of the season.
Yeah, going into this trip, we always know this is one of the more difficult road trips. You have a great USC team, just athletic, physical, and you're going to get their best game every time you step on the floor against them. And then you have UCLA, who's just been a beast this year. Michaela and Charisma, they're awesome players. And so, their whole team is just filled with great players. So going into this weekend, we knew it was going to be tough, and we knew it was going to come down to rebounding and defense and ultimately just who wants it more, and just grit and toughness. And so, yeah, just like you said, going through these kind of stretches where games are getting canceled and then finally to have a full weekend of games, and then be able to put two really good performances together, it just kind of shows the process and the just improvement that this program has been making. And it's been hard to see because we have had these pauses and stretches where we don't play. So being able to, for our improvement just to kind of pay off is something I'm just happy. As a senior, I love these moments with my team. I want the younger kids to be able to have these moments in the locker room after the game or on the court after the game. So it's just special. It puts a smile on my face just because I love seeing just the young girls and the team being so happy.
Aleah, you just mentioned it, just how difficult it has been for this team to get into a rhythm of any kind this year. But now you've got 2 wins on the road. How much of a confidence booster is this going into a stretch where you've got Oregon and the Pac-12 tournament to try and make yourself an NCAA tournament resume?
Yeah. I mean, I think it just is finally giving us some confidence that we've had, but it's like, dang, like we're getting these games and we're hanging with Stanford for 3 quarters and then we kind of have a letdown. So just playing these 2 last games and just really kind of gaining our confidence and knowing it's not fake confidence, it's real confidence, and we have the ability to be confident in who we are in the program that we're in is special. And so, yeah, like you said, putting these 2 games together were really important for what we want to do in the future. And then I think it just gives us more determination to go into Eugene and then go into the Pac-12 tournament.
Aleah, for people who tuned into today's game and haven't been following Oregon State basketball all year, what do you think this kind of sends to them? What does this do for your team on the radar?
Yeah, I mean, today we're on the biggest stage, having a game on ESPN against a top 10 team. I think they're ranked number 8 right now. It just shows how good this team can be and is. It just paying off. I mean, the people should see how talented this group is and how when we come together and when we play right, we are a really special team and a really special program. And then just how fun everyone is. I love seeing everyone's smiles today. This game was just like upbeat, energetic, but it was just so much fun to be together. And Aleah hit that huge 3, and I think the next possession Taylor was shooting free throws, and I was talking to her and she was like, I told you, and like pointing to like ice in her veins. And so just to joke around, but no, I'm so proud of this team and just seeing their hard work pay off and just kind of what we've been preaching pay off is really special.
Now, Coach obviously puts on that media cool, calm, collected front in front of us, but what was his reaction in the locker room? How proud is he of you all?
He was super proud. He was so happy. I don't think he stopped smiling after the game. This year's been hard. It's been hard for him, especially. I mean, you have a team who's young, who doesn't really get it yet. At the beginning of the year, there's nothing like the Pac-12. There's nothing that can get you ready for these Pac-12 games. So he has to be the bad guy in some instances, and he has to get on us and he has to be hard on us because that's his job, to get us ready for these games. And so after this game, just to kind of feel that a little bit talking off his shoulders and just being able to smile and just have fun with us. Like I said, I don't think a smile came off his face at all.
Aleah, talking about Talia, I know that at this point, like we've all seen her do a lot of really impressive things, but she is a freshman. She should be in high school. And you guys, like you said, come into this building, it's really tough to win on the road. Is she surprising you still? Or at this point, are you just, when she hits that huge deep 3, are you just kind of shrugging like, oh yeah, I thought that was coming?
Yeah, I mean, it's Talia. Like, I kind of knew the second it left her hand that it was going in. Just the confidence she plays with is unique, and just her ability, her basketball IQ is what makes her such an amazing player. She thinks the game, and she is so above her age and where she should be, honestly. Like, her basketball IQ is special, and then her skill set on top of that is just makes her who she is. So nothing really surprises me with her anymore. I've seen it in practice. I've kind of seen everything, or those fancy passes that she makes that are just like, okay, Talia, there you go. Go ahead then. But no, she's been awesome, and I love seeing her just growing just from when she got here to now, and just the growth that I've seen in her.
One thing she seems to be really good at is if she does make a mistake, it doesn't impact the next play. Especially if she turns the ball over, she can just move on. You know how much pressure it is to handle the ball, like in this conference. How big of a deal is that she just isn't rattled by it?
Yeah, no, I think that just comes with the confidence that she has in herself, and then the confidence that we've been able to instill in her, and just remind her that, hey, you belong here. You're a great player. And I mean, it doesn't take much reminding, because she knows it. She knows she can hang with anyone, and she knows her skill set and what she can do. But no, I think it's just constant reminders like, hey, brush it off. It's good. You're good. You're good. But like I said, just her skill set, her IQ, and just confidence and just aura about her is special, and it's unique, but it's great.